Hello, everyone. Welcome to the TimePro Sprint Review for Sprint 320. Today, we have JK and myself from the dev side, and then our stakeholders, Adam, Yuli, and product owner, Michael, who is currently on hold. Okay, let's jump into the email, and we'll show you what we've been working on. Okay, so this was shifted into a 2-week sprint. Last week, we didn't have a whole lot done due to lower availability and just complexities with the Ingram Micro work. We had the 2 goals of finish Ingram Micro to get Jimmy and Mike for testing. As of a couple of hours ago, we've deployed the stuff, so it's in staging. I've made sure all the data's there so we can really start getting into the testing. The other one was getting the Ingram Micro done video reviewed by Adam. I tried the other week. You were busy, understandably, with the brainstorming, and then, to be honest, I completely forgot to try and get onto you again. So I'll try again this week.
I watched that. That was good.
Awesome. Okay, brilliant. Yeah, actually, I did see your email come through, and I believe Mike has seen it too.
Cool.
Awesome. Alrighty. Sprint, who's been working? Mainly myself, as I mentioned
earlier.
Quick
question on that video. Is that video... Oh, no, that video we can't make it public, can we? Because it's full of client data.
Yeah, correct. There's no sandbox environment for Ingram Micro, so... Yeah. Cool. As we mentioned, mainly myself, a little bit of Tom, a little bit of JK working.
So, JK, you're on rewards, are you? You're not working on TimePro?
Yeah, we just finished offline mode and one critical bug on production, and I believe we just want to get some notification working for next week for announcing awards.
Cool.
Just as a side note, I believe Hark found something this morning which he might have yak shaved with rewards. He had a couple of suggestions for sending them off. So you'll see those soon. Awesome. Sprint backlog, what we've actually been working on. So the top one there, we had a bug that popped up that Lou reported. This was, we weren't returning a newly created entity's ID during the sort of CRM creation. So that's been fixed up. That whole process is working, and that's been confirmed by Lou. The rest of them, we had a whole bunch of Ingram Micro work. So we're able to smash out a bunch of automated testing for the project sync. There was a couple of UX improvements that was suggested by Stefan and Jimmy regarding, what the date field is actually used for when you're doing a bulk sync, and also which reports you have already synced. So now we're showing all that on the UI, so it's a little bit clearer. Also with that, we had a bug here for the incorrect values being pulled from Ingram Micro. So this is a big chat that I've had with Stefan and Jimmy. We were pulling in the cost value, since obviously that differs from the RRP when we're doing the sort of Ingram Micro purchases. We're now pulling in their RRP. We're starting to document the actual process of setting this up. So at the moment, it's sort of looking like we're going to be pulling the cost price for us as the cost price when we pull it into TimePro, and then the RRP is the default value that's there for the customer, and we're going to be setting that as RRP and sell price. And then if there's any discounts or anything, that can be handled on the TimePro side. Cool. Any questions so far?
No, all good.
All good. Awesome. We had another one here for refactoring a old column in the emp table. I had a look into this. We dragged it into this sprint because it wasn't marked as complete, but it actually looks like there was a PR for it the other week. So this was just a very small one, removing an obsolete column from the code, but still keeping it in the database. There was also a bug reported by Penny regarding one of the clients and her specific billing requirements. The invoice was getting timestamped to the date that she was doing it, where you should also be able to sort of put back the date, but still keep the timestamp as just an audit field. So we've fixed that up. Investigate API for discount fields. It's not super clear with the documentations that we get. So it took a little bit of poking around to see what values we can actually trust from that report that we pull from Ingram Micro, and if there is any updates, manual changes in Ingram Micro, whereabouts that is reflected in the report. So we found a new strategy around that. That's sort of been documented there, which I don't think is really required for the summary. Another one here, adding animation. So Tom has finished his third revision on that. I believe it's the done video that remains. Unfortunately, he's been shifted onto, well, not unfortunately, but he has been shifted onto client work. So
yeah.
So he will hopefully see that done video complete next week. Finally, the incorporating of discounts. So a couple of the PBIs here sort of merge in together, but this one was talking about the automated invoices as they come through. It can apply these discounts that you define over a set period. So say if, you know, onboarding, you might give them 6 months at whatever percentage discount. This is now able to be seen and is part of the automation.
Lovely.
Brilliant. Okay, they're all the complete ones. We had a couple here which are either in review or JK wasn't able to get to this because he's been on rewards. So we'll pull them into the next sprint.
So quick question for you.
Yep.
Just to update my understanding, because I know we sort of made an MVP of the Ingram Micro stuff, and I'm not quite sure how thorough the functionality is. If like, can we build stuff via Ingram Micro now, where if their price changes, ours automatically changes before we send through our next invoice?
Well, I believe that's something that we've spoken about. So this is something Jimmy might start verifying as we start doing the testing. If we leave it at the default, I believe it doesn't lock it into a price. So it's going to be start continuously pull the RRP from Ingram Micro. So yeah, the current way, to our best understanding, yes, it accounts for those price changes.
Okay, so for instance, right now,
there's two. There are two license types. So you either this is for not for consumption licenses for like Office 365.
Seats,
so the client either buys it on 12 months or on 1 month. The 12 month, the price is locked for the 12 months, but the 1 month can fluctuate based on the Microsoft.
So this is what's actually
so
happening, right? I'm billing for like Power Automate, for instance, and or Power Apps. And I keep on having to double check every time the recurrence comes up. I keep on having to double check with Jimmy to check that the price is still correct. So do I not need to do that anymore as of now?
You should double check.
That's what I've been led to believe.
Yeah, Jimmy's going to be double checking, but we're fairly confident. Yeah.
All right, so we think maybe that might work. And what about the consumption side? Have we got that sorted or not yet?
Yeah, so it's all treated the similar way. So it just validate it, but yeah, it should be.
So Mike, does that make you a happy chappy or?
Yeah, and in fact, both Jimmy and Stefan and I had a call with Toby during the week, and we've got a couple of new real live client things that we're working on right now that we're actually going to go through and do some real live testing of this, and Jimmy's going to look at it, making sure. So right now, Jimmy's doing all of that invoicing, and he's double checking it. But so we're sort of, because it's real money and real invoices, we're just sort of slowly just checking it as we do to make sure that what we believe to be the case is actually really going to do it, so that you and I can trust it.
Nice. Okay.
So,
awesome.
Sorry to cut you off. I've got to go very shortly, so I'll just try and whiz through this. I might have to do the planning as a separate meeting, as a separate recording. So suggested timesheets and automated timesheets, much the same as every other week. The burn down, not the prettiest. We had to add stuff towards the end of the sprint. So that's what that final mountain is there. Code coverage, we've been able to add a few in the terms of back-end Ingram Micro testing. So a little bit of a rise there on the .NET side of things. Otherwise, the front end remains the same. Pipeline health, nothing to call out, 100% pass rate, which is great to see. In the last sprint, we've had 3 deployments, which is nice. All 3 have been us on the TimePro side, so not the easy leave. Application health, it looks like a big spike, but if you break it down, since this was a 2-week sprint, we're about the same. It's still, we're just getting those bots spamming the endpoints. State of the epics, we made a little bit of progress on the post MVP Ingram Micro in terms of the discounting. RRP, we've got third-party complexities as other weeks. JK and I have mainly been sticking to the same technologies, except JK has also started using VS Copilot with agents, and also GPT 4.1. Yak Shaver metrics, we're up a bit actually, about 10% in terms of the ratio of manually created to non-manual. So nice to see. We're also getting a fair few of those complete. Finally, for the retro, it was Ingram Micro is ready for testing. It's nice to see Mike has been doing a little bit of investigating about, the direction that this product could potentially take. Which is still early stages and obviously subject to Adam's approval. So it's just nice seeing that that's got something under the way. And then plugin, what didn't go so well. So CRM for staging doesn't seem that the plugin is working correctly, as I noticed this morning. So we have to manually sync entities. Have to manually sync the entities just for now. Finally, I need to investigate the incorrect Ingram Micro sync status. Cool. Sorry for rushing through that. I will record a separate video for the planning. I need to jump over to a client meeting. As with the rest of our sprint reviews, you can find them on our YouTube channel. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Toby.